So you've probably heard this new buzzword floating around the tech world, vibe coding. And honestly, it's more than just a buzzword. It's a sign of this massive shift in how we're starting to build things. Software, apps, websites, the whole shebang. We're kind of moving away from this super strict world of logic and syntax and into a new era where it's all about the feeling, the intent, yeah, the vibe. So what does that actually mean? Let's get into it. This whole idea just exploded after this tweet from the brilliant computer scientist Andrej Karpathy. It went viral because it hit the nail on the head. It captured something people were feeling but couldn't quite put into words. The goal isn't just about writing code anymore. It's about describing a feeling and then letting an AI turn that feeling into reality. And that last part is key. Forget that the code even exists. Wild, right? And this wasn't just some flash-in-the-pan tweet. The term got so big, so mainstream, that Collins Dictionary actually named it their word of the year. And their definition is just perfect in its simplicity. It's using AI with natural language to help write code. That's it. You talk, it codes. Okay, so this brings us to the real philosophy behind it all. Vibe coding isn't just a new tool or a new technique. It's a completely different way of thinking. For decades, code was all about being efficient, being functional. But now we're realizing that a user's experience is measured by something way more human, that emotional connection. And this table just lays it out so clearly. On one side, you've got the old school traditional coding. It's all about logic, strict syntax, you need years of technical expertise, and the goal is just, does it work? Then on the other side, you have vibe coding. Here, the focus is on the feeling, the intent. It's flexible, it's AI-powered, and it's aiming for that emotional resonance. And maybe the biggest deal of all, it's accessible to people who aren't programmers. It's a total game changer. So who's the perfect role model for this new philosophy? Well, believe it or not, it's not a programmer. The absolute best analogy is the legendary music producer, Rick Rubin. He basically lives and breathes the vibe coder mindset, but he's never written a single line of code in his life. I mean, think about it. The guy co-founded Def Jam. He's worked with everyone from Run DMC to Johnny Cash to Lady Gaga. But here's the wild part. He has zero technical training in music. He can't work a mixing board. He guides some of the best artists in the world just by describing a feeling, a mood, a vibe. He's not the one playing the instruments. He's the vibe director. And that's exactly what vibe coding is trying to do. So that's the beautiful theory, right? But what actually happens when you try to use the tools that are out there right now? Well, someone decided to find out, and let's just say the gap between the marketing slogans and the actual experience, it can be pretty huge. The test was straightforward. The goal, build a simple app to find local art. The person doing it had a clear vision but absolutely no coding experience. I mean, they were the perfect person to test this whole promise of vibe coding. So they took their idea to 5 of the biggest AI coding platforms to see what would happen. And the results were a mixed bag, to say the least. Cursor was super powerful, but trying to fix bugs was a total nightmare if you didn't know how to code. Lovable looked amazing, but then you'd hit a paywall for basic stuff. And Bolt just didn't really do anything. But then you had Replit, not the fanciest, but it actually worked. And the dark horse, Base 44, turned out to be the most balanced of the bunch. So the big takeaway is that right now, the tools are all over the place. But hey, it's not all frustration and broken tools. In some other creative areas, vibe coding isn't just a promise for the future. It's already here, and it's working really, really well. And funnily enough, it brings us right back to music. Now this is vibe coding in its purest form. You just describe the feeling you want, right? Something like a calming, lo-fi beat for studying. Then an AI like Meta's Music Gen takes that description and boom, instantly it spits out a completely new piece of music that matches that vibe. It's direct, it's intuitive, and it's kind of magical. So this leads us to the really big question. What does all of this mean for business? Because this isn't just a cool new toy. This new way of creating is opening up massive opportunities and building a whole new economy around it. And the numbers, they're just staggering. The whole no-code and low-code market, which vibe coding is basically putting on steroids, is expected to be worth $187 billion by 2030. This is not a small niche trend. This is a fundamental change in who gets to build software and how it gets built. And for businesses, the perks are just incredible. I mean, imagine going from a cool idea to a working prototype in a tiny fraction of the time it used to take. This lets you focus on the actual customer problem first, not the technology. It means you can try out ideas for cheap, see what works, and only spend real money on the winners. It's even creating totally new jobs like VibeOps, people whose whole job is to manage this AI-driven process. So yeah, vibe coding is looking like it could be the next huge leap forward in how we create things. It has the power to democratize building and speed up innovation like never before. But you knew there was a but, right? There's always a catch. Let's be real, vibe coding isn't a silver bullet. The AI right now really struggles with things that are brand new or super complex. And trying to debug AI code, it can be an absolute nightmare because there's often no clear logic to it. That also makes updating and maintaining it down the road a huge challenge. And here's the big one, security. AI code can be full of holes if you don't have a human expert checking every single line. Which leaves us with this one last really interesting question. If the AI is handling all the mechanics, all the typing and the syntax, what's our new job? Maybe we stop being technicians and start being directors. We're not coders anymore, we're curators of vibes. Our value isn't in writing the code itself, but in knowing exactly what feeling we want that code to create for someone else. It's a deep shift in what it means to be a creator, and it really makes you wonder